Because, as I said, in terms of setup looking down the line, in both these cases, you've got some really good kind of angles and lines there, how you set the golf ball. The problem was, looking from sort of this way, you had a weakish left-hand grip, okay, a weaker right-hand grip, very much over the top with your right palm sort of facing down, and quite a high right shoulder. So you weren't really in a position from where you can kind of like skim the pebble or kind of scythe it across, okay? It was always going to be kind of steep and across the line. Now, what that created was a golf ball doing that. Not kind of like straight, a general curve out to the right there, okay? And you kind of knew that, and obviously history had shown you doing that. So in all your powers you could do was just try and swing the golf club somewhere over there. And we can kind of see that in your takeaways. The club goes back, your club even goes back outside the line here when it gets taken away. Is it pushing it even outside that red line? I mean, that's going back quite a long way outside. So if you come back on a similar line there, you're going to come down like a glancing blow across the ball. That's going to be a weaker shot. Added to the fact the club face is therefore open, it's going to be even more of a weaker shot because you've got more loft. It's a glancing blow, and as you said, a lot of times hitting the ground back here, you're losing even more yardage. Now, if you're losing 5-10 yards with every single thing there that's causing you to lose yardage, that's going to be 25-30 yards. Suddenly a 7-iron's going about 110, 120, rather than the 150 you would anticipate it potentially going there. Okay, so club went back out to the line quite steep there, okay, and then as a result of that you try to sort of swing it now to the left. You see the club coming down quite steep here into the golf ball outside the line here. This is sort of a telling position there. That's the shaft there coming the golf ball way across it. That's going to send the ball off out to the right there. Now if we look at this right hand one, you went through kind of the sequence we discussed there at setup. So feet together, club down pointing a bit more towards kind of that left pocket, left thigh, and it just creates a straighter line from that sort of lead arm hand through the club shaft. And what we're looking for from a sort of face-on perspective here is that kind of lowercase y, The club and the arm and the shaft is one, and the right arm coming in from the other side to create the angle, okay? So getting a bit of practice with this, so you get yourself set up. Again, down the line, angles-wise, look great. Once you were there, the club is going to come back more this way because this hip and this shoulder are going to get out of the way, And if you watch the club now, if we look at these positions here now as the club goes back, this club now, when you take it back on the takeaway, you can see now coming back on the inside. So this club now is tracking back towards the camera. It feels to you probably way on the inside, doesn't it? Look at it, like, oh, back towards the camera perfectly, Now you keep turning. Look where that club's coming from there, okay? We compare that backswing to where you kind of were up there with your left arm. Left arm's really, really high. You look quite tilted over the ball because you had to tilt that way because of that setup. And again, this club now, as we said, coming down quite steep through your right shoulder. On the outside here now, you watch this club now coming down more through your right bicep, more on plane to the golf ball, and look at that club. That club now is more on the inside path of the golf club. As it strikes the golf ball, it misses the mat. You can see a nice strike. There's the club face there, just before impact here. The shaft is still left of the golf ball as we see, whereas this one, the shaft never really got back to the left until after the golf ball. So it's a very much sort of out to in path you had. There's a better strike. Ball now turning through, and the ball then starting towards target and finishing more on your target line. So we're trying to produce a lower launching golf ball, a less spinning golf ball, which will produce a further flight with your golf ball. Now to do that, it's going to be more from that grip position set up, and this is going to be a sequence you're going to just kind of develop. At the moment there's a bit of thinking around it, so you're quite slow with it, which is fine. I don't mind that. The more you do it, the quicker you'll get with it, okay? And you'll get to the point where you grab a golf club and you sort of put the golf club down in there and you go 1, 2, 3, boom, 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 and then you go. Take it 3-4 seconds, okay? It's like a learner getting into a car. You watch them in the car, they go, okay, seatbelt, handbrake, gear in neutral, It takes them forever. You get in a car now, you're off in about 5 seconds, aren't you? Okay, so it will take a little bit of thinking, as I say, to start with, okay? But going through that sequence for every single shot, whether it's a drive, a putt, a chip, whatever it may be. Obviously, with some shots, there's going to be slight variance with the setup, but for the same principle, when you start with the club down, feet together, getting that club shaft just slightly forward, and building our setup in and around that. And then there's a swing thought for all full shots, and in some ways chip shots. This right hip and shoulder are going to get out of the way, so you can practice. And I would recommend, if you're somebody who goes down the range, it's golf balls. Okay, either put the camera on the front side here, sort of on the wall there, as a selfie mode, so you can sort of see your lowercase y, or back on the wall back here to see where that club is coming back on the right side and see how your body's moving. And again, film those swings, send them across to me. Say, how's it looking? Am I doing the right thing? Am I going too far on the inside? Which you might do if you're someone who practices a lot. The game of golf has kind of a wrong end at one side and a wrong end at the other side, and pretty good in the middle. We don't want to be going from here to the other end and I'm starting snap hooks or so there is a kind of a sweet spot we're trying to find. So yeah, do some practice with that, okay? And then start off with some swings that probably only go back to about here, maybe. Yeah, back and through, sort of swing from there. So we're going to go to about here somewhere and then through, yeah? Sort of half-ish swings, maybe 3/4, and just get used to that kind of movement there. So the golf ball, learning impact with the towel, yeah? Get some feedback. Yeah. And then build the speed up. So you start with like your wedges, your 9s and your 8s with the clubs you're more confident with, and half swings. Then you go wedges and 9s and 8s with full swings. Then you go with 7-irons. And you go with, and then you build it to the bag. Okay. And then you find a club where you go, okay, I struggle with this club. It's not so good, is it? Could be a 6, could be a hybrid. And then you practice with that one to try and get a development. If you're not quite getting it, go back to your 7, 8, your 9 stuff, just to sort of get some confidence with the movement. Okay. And then when you feel more confident with that movement, try again with a longer club. Is it working better? It's a bit better, but still not quite there. Then go back to these shorter clubs to get the movement working better again over time. Yeah. So you sort of there's a bit more kind of structure to your practice, not just go there and whack golf balls until the ball goes straight, which is what people do. The ball ends up going over here somewhere. I'll aim further left, and then you leave the range and the ball's going there, and you're like, great, yeah, amazing. But how far is it going? How's it getting there?
Yeah,
not really. Exactly. You kind of just mask the fault rather than fix it. Okay. So does that make sense? Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
So a couple of things I say to sort of setup wise, bit of a routine there.
Yeah.
I'm a stickler for routines. I just like people getting the same thing over and over again, getting in a good position, okay, and then enabling your body now to do what it wants to do. We want that right side to get out of the way. Once that right side gets out of the way, the club can kind of work more on the inside around your body this way. Once the club starts working around there, you can change the path of the golf ball. Hit different shape shots, Okay, buddy?
Yeah, brilliant.
Excellent, good stuff. No, pleasure.